Hi guys, Alistair Taylor here. Today we're going to have a little comparison, driver versus 3-wood. So I've had a few guys in for fittings lately and a few for lessons who have said that is there a big difference between 3-wood and driver? Obviously mini driver, I've done reviews on the TaylorMade and the Callaway mini drivers. But a lot of guys saying that maybe they hit 3-wood as far as driver. I mean, for me, that's probably down to the fact that the driver's not set up properly for them, so they've not been fitted. But I'm going to compare 5 shots real balls on Flight Scope with my driver, which is the Nike Vapor Flex, and my Vapor Flex 3-wood. So we're going to see what the difference is in distance. I am very, very comfortable with the length of driver. Some guys aren't, but let's see the difference it creates for me. 5 shots with each from the tee. Let's look at the distance, Flight Scope, and go from there. So we'll hit driver first. So like I said, I'm very comfortable. This is set 9.5, stiff for me. There's my little draw. Maybe a touch out the toe. But I think for me, where a lot of guys kind of maybe want to drop down to 3-wood because they feel they're more consistent. The size of the head now with 3-wood is much, much smaller. I think if guys can stay towards that 460cc head, it is more forgiving for them. And like I said, that's good. And I am comfortable with driver. That's, not necessarily saying that for some guys they won't be comfortable with driver. Possibly, though, for them, maybe the 460 head with a shorter shaft might be a good idea. Or even some of the drivers are a little bit smaller. Some are kind of 420, 400cc. And a little bit out the toe. Just turning over a bit more. Okay, good. Last couple, try and hit them a little harder. And I'm expecting my numbers with driver to be pretty good. I've been set up for this. I know this is right for me. That's pretty much as good as it gets for me. And one final one. Okay, so really go after this one. Again, pretty solid. Not a lot of shape on that one. So all in all, I'd be pretty pleased with all 5 of those. So let's hit 5 with 3-wood. I would stress that I've got this set at 15 for today. I normally have this set at 17. Only reason for me is I see 3-wood, technically be a 4-wood for me, as a club I use off the floor. I think if I was using it a lot off the tee, I might even go 13 or 14 degrees, but I don't feel there's any need. I would struggle off the floor with that loft. But for today, standard 3-wood loft, 15 degrees. So yeah, looks a lot smaller. Touch towards the toe. Very like the driver struck like that. And I completely understand why guys have that bit of confidence with 3-wood. I mean, modern 3-woods are probably similar length shaft nowadays that drivers were 15 years ago. Again, certainly it's nice and high, but I don't have a problem hitting driver high. As long as you keep the spin down, the ball's going forwards. So last 3, try and hit these harder. And that's great. That's as good as it gets for me. And like I said, I think the challenge for a lot of guys is they may be looking to use 3-wood off the tee, and then that becomes a club that they really, really struggle with off the floor, which is then where the 5-woods and the 7-woods become a great option. And for those guys, the woods are almost numbered wrong. 3-wood almost becomes driver, 5-wood is 3-wood, and 7-wood is 5-wood for them. So last couple. A little bit off the bottom, maybe a bit spinny. I might take that one off on the numbers. Still nice and straight. And one final one. Okay, really going to hit this as hard as I can. Please don't make too many bad comments about my swing speed. Yeah, again, that is as good as it gets. So let's have a look at some numbers on FlightScope. See the difference, driver to 3-wood. See if it's something that you guys should consider, using 3-wood instead of driver. Okay guys, so we can see a decent difference. You know, there's 30 yards in it for me between driver and 3-wood, and yet I would completely agree the majority of that is down to the speed I can swing the club at. The longer shaft in the driver, I'm able to generate more speed. I do launch 3-wood higher. Again, I'd expect that's got more loft on it, but I also spin it a lot more. So on a fairly still day or downwind, carry's going to be good, but 3-wood into the wind for me is going to get punished. So certainly for me, driver makes a big difference, and the bigger head, you know, I can get away with maybe more slightly indifferent strikes with driver. Okay guys, so we can see from my numbers, you know, there's definitely no benefit to me hitting 3-wood off the tee. I know a lot of guys say that they feel they should. I still think the big issue for a lot of guys is they're still not getting custom fitted for their drivers. You know, the whole point of getting fitted is you can get the right head size that you're comfortable with that gives you that forgiveness. You can get the right loft. The whole point of being fitted is you can get the length of the shaft set up so that you can consistently find the middle of the club face. A lot of guys that come and see me that are desperate to drop down to a 3-wood, we definitely still get them into some form of driver. It might look nothing like on the shelf, but certainly the bigger head, even if it's not 460, the bigger head is going to be more forgiving, but it needs to be something that they know performs, that they're comfortable with. So guys, hope you've enjoyed the video. Thank you for taking the time to watch. Subscribe to my channel, follow me on social media. Please leave some comments below, like the video. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like me to cover. I'm going to do some on-course vlogs very, very shortly. But again, thank you for taking the time to watch. I've been Alistair Taylor here at Heron's Reach, and today we've been testing driver versus 3-wood from the tee.